What is going on, you guys? Dr. Tiger back with another video. Today is March 30th. It is Monday, and I took no trades today. Very unfortunate day because I had a really strong bullish bias, and we did not. My bias got completely destroyed. So I just was very cautious from that point going forward, and just decided to not take any trades. There was one trade that I thought was okay that, like, in hindsight was, again, I still think it was okay. I don't think it was an amazing trade. I don't think it was a bad trade. So I'm going to show you all my thoughts. So going into the day, I definitely was bullish, and I just think that there's a very clear reason why. Overnight, we pumped up so much. We pumped up 300 points overnight. And you can see that this data high got made at around 7 a.m. I think it was some sort of Trump tweet or something. And I just thought that we were very bullish to that high. We were respecting so many bullish PD arrays, disrespecting bearish up until the open. And then basically right at open, we just dump. We sweep these highs. I would have been open to a short had we swept the data high, but we did not. So we swept these highs and then immediately dumped. This was the one play that I kind of like, the one that I am saying is okay. It's this 5-minute IFEG, and it would have probably been targeting this low to get a 1.5 RR, something like that. I think that, obviously it worked out beautifully. I just did not like this trade. At the time, we were inside this 15-minute gap. We still had these 15-minute gaps. We had, I believe, an hourly over here as well. We had an untapped hourly here. And like, we weren't really delivering from anything. There's no gap here that we're delivering from. And like, in my opinion, again, I was super bullish. So I was kind of expecting us to sweep these lows off open, sweep this low, and then reverse higher to the data high. So my bias was not really switch bearish. It only was really switch bearish when we closed like this on the 5-minute here. And I'm like, okay, whatever. So we just continued dumping. And like, we had also London low over here and like an unfilled 4-hour gap as a target. Which is right here. You can kind of see, like, at the time it was unfilled. So I had that as a target still, but all of those got absolutely destroyed without any retracement. And for the rest of the time, I was saying that I'd be open to a mech long, like a mech model, like a 30-second, 1-minute inversion targeting an unfilled 15-minute gap, which still has yet to be filled, by the way. And it just never ended up delivering in the way I wanted to. I locked out somewhere around here, and then we ended up giving, like, we ended up giving the sweep, and then we ended up getting this really strong like push higher. I'm kind of forward testing this trade right now because I still think that, like, or not forward testing. If we do get this like CISD break of structure right here, then I think that I would forward test this trade to the unfilled 15-minute, but definitely not willing to put capital on the line. Sorry, it's probably blurry, bro. Okay, it's probably blurry, but anyway, I'm forward testing this trade to see if it would work out, but it's 10:55. Like, there's no way that I'm willing to put capital on the line for my first day of trading on some like BS mech trade after all the draws have already been taken. So just reminding myself that, like, by being disciplined and by being patient, I can save my capital for days where it really matters, where we have A+ setups and where I can capitalize it. Because I think that I've noticed a common trend with me is that I lose on stupid shit and then I win on the trades I'm really proud of. And if I can cut out losing on the stupid shit, then that means that I can speed run my path to profitability. So it's really just all about avoiding losers and making sure I can capitalize on the winners. So yeah, guys, I will catch you guys tomorrow. What is going on, you guys? Dr. Tiger back again. Today is Tuesday, March 31st, and we are ending the month with a loss. I am so ready for this month to be over. It is officially over today, and I personally feel like this was an A+ setup. I think that this was a statistical loss for me personally. I did everything I needed to do. I saw a very high confidence trade, and I executed on it, and it just unfortunately did not work. So I'm going to show you. It was a trade going against my bias, so that kind of sucked in the sense that, like, this trade makes me wonder, like, excuse me, when I trade against bias, should I risk less or should I go for higher RR? Because I know I've seen discourse online of, like, when you're trading against bias, you should go for higher RR plays because, like, that will ultimately be what makes you profitable with those types of plays. But anyway, let me just show you what I was thinking going into the charts. This is the 4-hour chart, and overnight you could see that we ripped up. This was last night, and I think there was some Trump news that made us pump this much, and we made an unfilled 4-hour gap. You can see it very clearly here. We actually made a bullish SMT with that gap. I noticed that before the market opened. You can see that ES clearly tapped its, or not clearly, but it tapped its 4-hour gap. And so we didn't necessarily need to revisit this level, but we had equal lows on the 1-hour time frame at this 4-hour gap. So I just thought that that was a very high probability low. And we also had this 15-minute internal low, intermediate low. We had this 15-minute low inside of the 15-minute gap. And so I really liked this potential like short setup. We did have draws higher, such as these relative equal highs from over here, as well as past day high and this data high from yesterday. And so overall, I was leaning bullish, but I was open to trading in either way. And literally right off of open, there was a patty swing, which is basically just a Judas swing. We sweep these highs off open. We swept the relative equal highs. We made a bearish SMT with ES. We immediately dump 45 points in this candle. And I, with no hesitation, enter short. And I targeted the 15-minute intermediate low. I did not target London low because, again, my bias was bearish, so I did not think that we'd necessarily go all the way to that low. But we had this nice LR below, and at the very least, I thought this would be a break-even trade. I got wrecked, absolutely wrecked, and honestly, I feel like there really isn't much to learn from this trade. I executed on my model, and I think that when you have a profitable model, you have to be able to sit with the outcome, whatever happens, right? I lost today on a setup I really thought was great. And, I mean, that's going to happen sometimes. There's going to be times where I lose on my model. This is the importance, though, of avoiding avoidable losses, because my model has like a 70% win rate. And that means that 70% of the time on an A+ setup, it will win. In this case, this was just part of the 30%, but like taking avoidable losses messes with that probability. So that's why I just really need to be careful going into each trading day to make sure I'm not taking an avoidable trade, an avoidable loss. I will say I was kind of going into today feeling a little bit annoyed as well, because I saw a setup that I really liked during pre-market. And you guys may have seen that recently I've kind of been a little bit more open to trading pre-market, but that's because the move that I'm looking for at our market open happens during pre-market. Let me show you what I was looking at. So at what time is this? 7 a.m. At 7 a.m., Trump ended up tweeting something, creating this data high. This also kind of coincided with Asia high. Asia high is over here, right? Or no, that's not Asia high. Asia high is over here. So Asia high is right here. And we had a data high from Trump. And I saw that pre-market, we ended up sweeping it beautifully and then rejecting it beautifully. Look at this rejection. And I was open to a MEC model, a 3-minute short. You can see that there's this 3-minute gap, a 3-minute short to this 15-minute gap. There's a 15-minute, as you can see right here. There was an unfilled 15-minute at the time, and I was open to taking a 3-minute short towards that 15-minute. It was a low RR play. It would have been like a 1-to-1. And I literally was about to enter, but then I saw that we had made a bullish SMT at the 15-minute gap with ES, in the sense that we had tapped it and ES had not, or sorry, no, the other way around. ES had tapped it and NQ had not at the time. So that just made me think NQ's more bullish. I'm just going to fade this setup. And it ended up working for a 1-to-1. I just need to also, I think this also reminds me of a lesson to not let like missed setups affect my mental. It's always good to forward test and learn from that. But anyways, guys, I'll catch you guys tomorrow. What is up, you guys? Dr. Tiger back again with another video. I ended up winning pre-market today, and I took no trades during the New York Open. Let me show you exactly what I was thinking going into the day. So let me just first talk to you about my pre-market trade. Really proud of the trade I did end up taking. So what I saw, I always wake up at around 8 a.m. and whenever I wake up, I just happen to check the charts. And right at 8 a.m., I saw that we had swept London high. And London high is a very high probability liquidity pool that we like to sweep and then deliver to certain targets, whether it be up or down. But I kind of saw that London high, we were super overextended. It was the high of day. We swept high of day, and I honestly was just waiting for some bearish structure in order to take a MEC model to an unfilled 5 or 15-minute gap. And what I saw is that after sweeping London High over here, we ended up re-sweeping the high a couple of times. We re-swept the high, and hold on, let me just scroll back again. So we re-swept the high, and then I waited for clear bear structure to present. I saw this 1 minute gap right here, and I waited for a clear closure through it. I entered here and I put my stops above the high and I put my TP at an unfilled 15-minute gap. And this played out beautifully. At first it was a little scary. There was some drawdown right here, but that ended up just being a lower high to continue going lower to the unfilled 15-minute gap. I could have held longer to an unfilled hourly, which was right over here. But I took easy profits, especially considering it was pre-market and especially considering the loss that I took yesterday. I also am trying to become more open as a trader to like taking more than one A+ setup a day. Like if there is multiple A+ setups in one day. And I'm not gonna lie, you guys, like this New York AM session was just completely buns. So what ended up happening was, let me just delete some of these things off my screen so you can kind of see a little bit better. So this is the hourly chart. This is the hourly chart. All of my draws are still intact. We have not hit a single draw on liquidity that I was considering. And we have just not been moving at all. We made this 5-minute gap right off market open. I was potentially open to continuation longs to this data high. Then we completely destroyed it. I know that some people took shorts off of this 5-minute inversion. I faded this because we were not delivering from anything. Had we swept this high, potentially would have felt differently about this, but we did not sweep anything. So I did not, take that trade. And then we have just slowly grinded up ever since. I am very likely done for the day. And I mean, I'm just glad to be securing my profits for the day. I ended up making back what I lost yesterday. And you guys, this is just, unfortunately, it's kind of just been a slow grind, but I'm happy to start April off on the right foot. This is April 1st, and I'm hoping to make this month a good month. So something else I want to say is that, again, it's just been a slow grind, but this one account is at a 4.8K balance. And in order for me to take another payout on it, I need to get it to 6K. And realistically, that is simply just one more A+ setup win. That is literally all that is. So yeah, guys, I'm just going to continue to trust the process, to keep grinding, and I'll catch you guys later. What is going on, you guys? Dr. Tiger back again with another video. I'm recording this a little bit later in the day on Thursday, but I took no trades today, and today was, I'm not gonna lie, quite a frustrating day because I saw literally like 99% of people in the trading space win today, and I just was not able to capitalize on it. I did not feel confident in any play, and I just have to remember that, like, it doesn't matter what other people think, it matters what I think. And sure, I can learn from other people, like potentially in hindsight, but even after that, I still believe that I'm proud of myself for fading. It's not like one of those A+ setups that like I know I 100% should have taken. This morning was confusing and I wasn't really able to read price. So that's okay. I accept that, but let me just show you my thoughts going into the day. So I'm just going to, again, ask that you pretend that you don't see the huge bullish movement that we had. But prior to the huge bullish movement, we had this huge leg down overnight and from Trump news last night on Wednesday night. And it looked like we were honestly like approaching equilibrium of this leg, this bullish leg. So it looked like this would be a really great place to reject for longs. I really wasn't looking for shorts. However, we were super close to low of day, and I never was really looking for shorts, but in order for me to look for longs, I would really need to see clear bullish structure get made. And in my opinion, that just never happened. I saw a lot of people took this 5-minute entry right here, this 5-minute IFEG, or you could have taken this 3-minute as well. The 3-minute IFEG towards London High. London High isn't marked on here anymore, but I just faded the setup because, like, if you look on the 1-minute chart, the setup presented probably at around... It presented at around 9:45, and market obviously opened right at 9:30. And if you just look up until that point, like I'm just going to not show the price afterwards. Up until that point, it just looked like we were choppy. Off open, we manipulated up. We then dumped lower. So it kind of made me think, okay, we're probably going to go to low of day. That's our draw on liquidity. Then we just start pumping again. We sweep some lows and then we start going up. And just on the 5-minute, it just looked choppy. Like, even though you have this inversion, it looked choppy. And this 15-minute also did not look good either. This 15-minute tapped this gap, respected it. Tapped this gap, respected it. So I really just did not like any trade until we had more clear structure. And then when I saw these candles, I'm like, okay, we're definitely bullish to London high. So I wanted to see continuation longs tap into this 5-minute gap and then go higher. But unfortunately, we did not get the opportunity to take continuation longs. So I did today exactly what I would do in backtesting. And even though tons of other people won, that is probably because they applied their discretion, because today was a harder day. And I applied my discretion to stay out. And I think it's better to stay out than to get in on something that I'm not confident in. Because imagine I took this trade and then it lost. Like this trade would have been one that I would have been annoyed that I lost on, because it would have been avoidable. Like I like had I lost on this trade, it would have been an avoidable loss, and that is my goal, is to avoid avoidable losses. Um, the reason I call this avoidable is because there was no clear structure. We were chopping, so potentially on the higher time frame, you could say that we were bullish, but like even if you look at the hourly, we were just super bearish up until that point. Same thing with the 4 hour. Like the 4 hour just dumped, and it just looked like we didn't really know what we wanted to do. So I don't feel I do feel a little upset because the move today was huge. It was crazy, but I'm going to be able to capitalize on positions that I'm confident in. So tomorrow is Good Friday, so I won't be trading then. But if you guys enjoyed this video, please feel free to give me a like, subscribe, and follow. Comment any feedback you have or anything you'd like to see from me, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.